So we're heading into the left garden, which I just secured yesterday, the perimeter with this poultry wire because I had a rabbit problem. I mean, it is completely netted, as you can see, because this is filled with berries. And I don't want the birds stealing my berries. But what was happening is the rabbits were had bit through the plastic netting and like obliterated so many of my peppers that I grew from seed. And so yeah, I was so mad. So when you walk into the left garden, right here in front I have sweet peppers. I did have to replace several of them because the rabbits killed them. And some of the onions also that are planted in the bricks all the way around several places in here. On the left hand side when we walk in, this is an herb garden. I have chocolate mint that's going insane here, sage, a borage plant that is just a volunteer, so I'm leaving it since bees love it. I have oregano thyme, rosemary, cilantro, parsley, garlic chives, a spinach plant that I grew from seed also, some nasturtium that is growing around. Anyway, in the middle here, this is just a bunch of plants that were here before I moved, and I didn't want to do anything with them. There are blueberry plants like hidden in that jungle. I don't do very well with blueberry plants. They're in buckets. They are going to fruit this year. That's kind of cool. So in the front here, I've got the strawberry bed. That's where everything was going rogue. Mostly slugs get to these berries before I can get to the berries. We'll see what happens this year. Up here I have onions planted. I did plant strawberries in these last year and they died because the winter was so bad. And I found out later that you shouldn't plant strawberries that aren't like on the ground because if you have a harsh winter, they're going to die. So that plant, I don't really know what that is. I think it's a plant like maybe echinacea or something. I don't know what it is, but I didn't want to pull it up, so I wanted to see what it would grow into. This section here is all blackberries and raspberries. It's really awesome right now because the bees are out and pollinating. And the raspberries and blackberries do break out of their box and grow absolutely everywhere. So I tend to pull them up when I can and transplant them elsewhere. Oh, there's a bee. I don't know if you guys can see that on camera or not, but anyway, like over here, this is black raspberries and raspberries that have just gone crazy, and I didn't pull that one out in time. So back here, I've got potatoes and sweet potatoes. I'm growing potatoes. Those containers are actually on the ground. There is the bottom's out of it. So the bottom is just sitting on the dirt. And that potato there is a volunteer. Apparently, I didn't dig up potatoes that I grew last year. I forgot about them. I didn't forget about them, but I must have forgotten about those ones because it grew into that. So I know there's potatoes underground somewhere over there. So I have sweet potatoes growing in these hills. We'll have to see how those go. We're going to have a pretty hot summer for those to be able to really produce anything. But see, I've got berries coming out my wazoo. But it's great because I made wine with them this past year for the very first time. And it's phenomenal. I really, really, really like the wine. So let's walk over here. And in this bed, I have hot peppers. I keep the peppers separate just because I don't want cross-pollination. As you can see here, that plant and that plant, the rabbits just ate it to nothing. There's another one over that they ate to nothing. And so I had to replace a couple of peppers too. And then over here I have my grapes. So this is a work in progress, these grapes. I had a trellis up here that I made like MacGyver style, and it really wasn't working out. Those grapes are crazy. And so my husband built me this green trellis thing. And yeah, it does drive me crazy that it's not like perfectly level. See, like over there, it's kind of tilted. It does drive me a little bit nuts, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. So I did buy some vinyl coated wire that I will be putting up to let these grapes grow on, but I don't have enough little thingies to secure them. So yay for Amazon, they'll come tomorrow. So this is my right side garden, and fully enclosed with PVC. Doesn't mean rogue birds don't get in here sometimes, because they do, and that's quite an adventure trying to get them out, because they find holes somewhere. But that's my garden 2019.